This is a squirrel trap I recently built. It's based on the design of something called a walk-the-plank mouse trap, a much smaller design used for catching mice. I've scaled it up here using a 55-gallon drum. The trap works much the same as the walk-the-plank mouse trap in that the squirrel walks up this ramp and into the hole looking for the peanut at the end of the plank. I've cut a hole in the top and add some hinges for easy access. Here you can see the plank itself. There's a peanut at the end of that plank and the water below. The plank works on a hinge, and when the weight of the squirrel gets to the end, it flips down. There's some counterweights here to cause it to flip back up when the squirrel is in there. Sometimes I'll put a peanut on the top of the ramp here just to encourage the squirrel to come inside. I decided not to remove the top, as I noticed from the walk-the-plank mousetrap's design that the mice would actually try to climb on the top rim, reach down to get the bait, rather than go through the appropriate hole and onto the plank. This is a close-up where you can see the plank. It's actually 17 inches long and 7 inches wide. And there's my peanut, the bait that's just attached to the end, and that often gets reused because he doesn't quite get it. One of the key elements on the plank is that it releases very, very suddenly because of the magnets over there, and they line up with those screws. That gives the feeling of stability until it suddenly breaks free. When it goes down, it relatches, everything's ready for a next catch. To verify the operation, I've added a few other things just for fun. In the back here, I've mounted a small camera that connects into my security system. This way I can see when and how the trap is working. In the front, you'll see this little wire, and that attaches to a switch. And anytime a dunk occurs, a switch gets flipped, and that lights a light bulb inside my house just to let me know that a squirrel is waiting in the dunk tank. This is a view from inside the tank. The squirrel smells the peanut butter and is eventually drawn into the peanut at the end of the plank, which is actually just out of view. When the weight of the squirrel exceeds the magnet, it flips him in and it resets for the next victim. I'm glad I mounted the camera inside the tank, as it was able to show a problem that I was having. With an earlier version of my plank, which was much shorter, you can see the squirrel is only partly into the tank before the plank trips, and he's actually able to work his way out. This actually happened several times, and I was able to redesign the length of the plank to make it longer and wider, and that solved the problem.